Since the 80s, a lot of black men have been going out of the country to a specific few spots. Brazil was one of them, those who could afford it, but the one that has always been accessible to black men was Dominican Republic. And of course, there's some great cities there, Santiago, Santo Domingo. But the number one spot that I've always heard about was Sosúa on the North Coast. You see, Sosúa was different than some of these other tourist spots in the DR because it still had, well, a lot of mongering, prostitution. And the ladies was out. And of course, this was something that certain brothers liked because the women were beautiful and it was an affordable experience. And it wasn't just any experience. You was about to get that girlfriend experience.
Oh boy! That stuff is yes!
But that's all changed because Sosúa and the DR in general is changing their approach. A lot of this out in the open prostitution for the last few months has been getting shut down. And a lot of the men are complaining about it.
Because another thing, like even I spoke to locals and they say, well, okay, it's not just prostitution, but the girls that come from all over the country, because you have to understand these girls are not from here. The ratchetest, crispity, crunchity, butterfingery, ratchet hoes from all over the country come here. That brings drugs, robberies, druggings, all kinds of things that come with that kind of lifestyle right in the middle of town.
Now, this is a really good reason. Number one, if a lot of the brothers and just men in general from all over the world are coming to Sosúa and you're a foreigner and you have money, well, a lot of these girls are going to come from all parts of the country too. And that's exactly what was happening. A lot of women coming from Santo Domingo, Santiago, other parts of Dominican Republic would come to Sosúa because a lot of those black men were there or Europeans were there and they had money. But the issue is that a lot of these ladies brought their problems with them. So people were getting drugged, people in pimps, all of the ratchet behavior came to this particular part of Sosúa. And so what this did was it discouraged, investment from larger businesses, people with foreign investment, because it was known as a place, where nothing but booty clapping was going. All right. And that's one issue with places like this. Eventually, situations involving prostitution or drugs, it won't reap investment. But there's another problem.
Yeah, I saw this, big booty, voluptuous Afro-Latina. And, so I had to, honestly, I had to look at those yams twice just to verify the validity. It was a lot. It was a lot. But anyways.
This is a YouTuber by the name of Giamo, okay? He's a known passport bro, and we'll get into him in a minute, but he's making a video while he's in Colombia, and the name of the video is called Why Venezuelan Women Are Better Than Dominicanos in Cartagena, which is also another spot for, buying cheeks. And he does this a lot, and he mentions it in this video. He's rating the ladies' cheeks, literally cheeks per capita, and he's putting it out there on video. But then there's more.
When I went back to my Airbnb, obviously, I just started messaging her a little bit. Obviously, I got down to the nitty gritty here very quickly, down to the numbers. And when she told me, her number, that was basically the catalyst of this video. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, he hooks up with the lady, he calls her, everything is cool. And the problem is she's charging too much money. He's not appreciating that. And again, this is Dominican he's encountering in Cartagena. But that wasn't the only time something like this happened.
She tried to throw her price at me. And, when she told me her price, I was like, if we were in Sosúa, I know you wouldn't be saying what you're saying right now.
So he encountered another Dominican, but another country in Costa Rica, and she was trying to sell him some cheeks, and he says it right there out in the open. If we were in the SU, you wouldn't be charging me that. Now, the SU is Sosúa, so we want to make sure we're on the same page. And it's not that this is a problem, because again, we all know that Clapathon Tech has to get some students enrolled there. We're going to be clapping it up. Cheeks per capita is a real thing. We love being in those places where the cheeks per capita is high. But the problem with the Dominican Republic is guys like this. Now, if you go and you look at Giamo Carter's YouTube channel, you're gonna see all sorts of debauchery. Don't get me wrong, I like the kind of girls that he posts up there. But the problem is, it's like over-sexualizing the ladies. Super big booties. I mean, every thumbnail is crazy. And then, of course, from what they tell me, this is a dude who has an OnlyFans. So not only are you going and you're buying, you know what, from these women, you're then clapping them up on OnlyFans, and then you're selling the videos to your YouTube audience. So it's the guys like this that are really getting the block shut down in the Dominican Republic. It's not that this hasn't been going on for years, but this is what makes it worse. And guys, trust me, it's just not me saying it.
I think that's gonna hurt business in the immediate. I think a lot of guys, a lot of passport bros, a lot of African-American brothers that go to Sosúa often will probably leave. Now, I'm sure that's probably what they are betting on.
Now he's talking about the Sosúa again. Like, he doesn't want to go back there because if it's not going to be no clapping, he don't feel like he need to go, right? This is what he's saying. Now, I mean, I agree, because clapping is important. I mean, life is clapping.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Who wants to be in a clapless life? I know I don't. And if I'm gonna be in a clapless life, I'm just gonna go ahead and enroll myself into self-clapalization. But again, I digress. But what he says next is important.
I believe they're probably betting maybe it might take a hit immediately, but in the long term, they might see other type of tourism, other type of clientele coming to Sosúa. That's just what I would imagine.
He admits something that is important. They don't want these dudes here. Like, I don't even think they want us here. And why don't they want your ass there? They don't want you there because of the content that you posting, which is making other brothers come there, and then you have problems. Now, again, YouTubers are just trying to let everybody else know how much the going price is for the cheeks, while at the same time, you know, trying to grow your following in the passport bro community. But the problem with that is these other people are watching y'all's content too in these countries, and he ain't the only one.
Now, from what the older guys are saying, who's been coming to the Sosúa for a long time, they say, hey, look, man, the main goal is dressed way classier, high heels, look very, very classy, look like ladies, you know, the way they carry themselves and stuff. Things were a lot cheaper back then. Now, we can say that's inflation or whatever, but they said, hey, look, man, it was a lot cheaper back then. You'll get more bang for your buck, if you will.
I mean, this is another young brother talking about what's going on right now. He's talking about the old days, how cheats were cheaper back then, and now it's even more expensive because of the shutdowns. And again, he's doing all of this and just trying to be helpful. But the problem is, you're talking about a country in which there are women. And again, I get it. These women are poor. They don't have a lot of opportunities out there. I understand that. But do you think that they want your ass talking about how cheap the poom poom was 20 years ago, and now the poom poom is higher? Like, no respecting country or no respecting group of men want, you know, people to be talking about their women like that. All right, this is what I call blowing up the spot. And again, I think the brother is doing this in all good faith. He's not trying to be harmful, but on the flip side, it is harmful, right? And it's harmful because the countries are getting a bad rap because you got dudes literally promoting the fact that the cheek clapping is on cloud 9 out there. But then this leads to other problems. Importation of passport pookies. Again, I don't have a problem with, you know, people in the passport bro community or any community. I mean, we all black men at the end of the day. But when you put your stuff out there and people start to, you know, understand how much it costs to come out there, you know, what's going on, and if they're only coming from the clapping, then you get guys who are ultimate pookies having problems like this.
What up, y'all? Bad news. I was on the way to the Sosúa. I rented a car from the airport and I got in a fucking accident, y'all. The car is fucked up. I hit this car from the back. I've never been in an accident before.
This is Jay Rello, the ultimate pookie. Mr. Prison Pookie, okay? And I already never had a problem with Jay Rello, but when Jay Rello came to Kenya, and you guys know I live in Uganda, and he put the community at risk, you know, ever since then I had no real respect for the guy. And again, here is Jay Rello. He was literally going to Sosúa to go fight another guy by the name of K9. Shout out to that brother. I don't know what the real beef was about, but on the way there to fight this guy, allegedly, he wrecked a rental car. So now you have this whole idea of Black American men coming down to Sosúa, wrecking cars. He leaves the country. The person that rent the car to him is still looking for him. They're saying that he can't come back to Sosúa. And not only that, the third issue that I have is so many of these brothers in the passport bro community were funding these guys. I mean, these guys had no money. You're talking about guys who are literally unemployed or can't keep a job or can't keep housing in America. And then they come on YouTube and, you know, you got all these grown Black men that just want to support them and help them get on their way. And then they go out to Sosúa or they go out to Colombia and they go out to Kenya and they have problems. And then not only does it make Americans look bad, it makes Black men look bad in particular. And of course, this is not ultimately all Black men's fault, but again, blowing up the spot will do this. Guys got to start to understand, if you get a spot and it is really handling it, and if it's really cool and the women are really like that, stop coming on the YouTube advertising it for the rest of these dudes to come out there and then ruin it. That's all that's gonna happen. I get it that you're trying to get your money on and you're trying to get your little consultation business and all that. If too many men come out there, it only takes a few bad apples to ruin the bunch. And this is exactly largely what has happened with Dominican Republic. And again, I understand that it was all good, you know, when the whites was doing it in the 80s and 90s in the North Coast. And again, these people could have always wanted to do this and the Black men were not always responsible. But because the YouTube and, you know, the traffic of the YouTube videos being talked about it, giving them that bad stigma even worse, it made it go down bad. And then you have actual mongers, dudes who are clapping cheeks on OnlyFans, like the dude Jay Rello. He was on X, I kid you not, clapping live.
Oh, hell no!
Yes, he was clapping live. That's what they was telling me. I ain't never seen it, but they said that's what he does. They said he be clapping live, all right? They said the brother be on there clapping live. I don't know if he turned the camera off or whatever, but I mean, just like, how disrespectful is that? How disrespectful is that to the country? And then you get these guys going out there making all these problems, and of course, they're gonna wanna shut that down, and that's exactly what they're doing. And now what are these dudes doing? Y'all going to the other countries to see how y'all can go out there and ruin that. Let's go to Cartagena. Now, I know Cartagena been doing it for a long time, but they're gonna clean that up too, because y'all gonna go ahead and blow up their spot. Brazil. I mean, wherever y'all can go and clap and tell the whole world about it and then cause problems, that's what y'all gonna do. And then y'all ruin it for the brothers out there that wanna go out there and just have a good time and just chill. I wanna just say one thing. There was a situation about 5 or 6 years ago. There was a beach party out in Sosúa, okay? And everything was cool. They had some, you know, beautiful women out there, and some of these guys had a twerk contest. If some of you guys remember, it was about 6 years ago. You had some of these brothers in the 40s and 50s, and what these guys did, these dudes was smacking these chicks on their butts, okay? Now, that's a big no-no. You're never supposed to do that on camera. If you're gonna do that, smack somebody on their booty, do it, you know, behind closed doors, right? You know, if it's consensual. But nah, you had these big booty Latino women twerking it up. These Black men put that on YouTube. Now, they had a brother out there that owned this venue. I don't know if it was called the Envy or whatever it was, but the brother had the venue. The video goes up on YouTube, and immediately they shut this guy's bar down for like 2 days. I don't know how much bribing he had to do to get, you know, his bar back in the shape, but it was terrible, right? And a lot of men just gonna have to stop blowing up the spot. Like, everything don't need to be on the internet. I mean, bruh, if you're clapping, I'm happy, man, but you ain't gotta tell everybody. Have some sense. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.